Heavy-duty trucks are designed to carry enormous loads over long distances, often operating in demanding conditions such as construction sites, highways, mining areas, and industrial zones. Every component in these vehicles must be strong enough to withstand constant stress, and one of the most important parts of the drivetrain is the clutch system. At the center of this system is the clutch pressure plate, a component responsible for applying the force needed to hold the clutch disc firmly against the flywheel. Without a properly functioning pressure plate, the engine cannot transfer power efficiently to the transmission, resulting in slipping, poor acceleration, overheating, and reduced vehicle performance. In today's restoration project, we are bringing an old, worn-out heavy-duty truck clutch pressure plate back to life. This pressure plate has spent years working under extreme conditions. It has experienced high temperatures, heavy loads, constant vibration, and thousands of gear changes. As a result, the surface has become rusty, the metal is covered with dirt and grease, and many of the internal parts show signs of wear. Although it appears to be beyond repair, careful restoration can return this component to excellent working condition. The restoration begins with a thorough visual inspection. Before taking anything apart, every part of the pressure plate assembly is examined carefully. Rust, cracks, heat spots, broken springs, damaged release levers, and worn contact surfaces are all identified. Every bolt, pin, and moving component is checked for damage. This inspection helps determine which parts can be restored and which must be replaced. Safety is always the first priority. Because clutch pressure plates contain powerful springs under tension, they must be handled with great care. Protective gloves, safety glasses, and proper workshop equipment are essential throughout the restoration process. Special fixtures and clamps are used to release spring. The restoration starts with deep cleaning. Years of grease, clutch dust, oil residue, and road dirt have formed a thick coating over every surface. A powerful degreasing solution is applied to dissolve the accumulated grime. Brushes of different sizes are used to reach narrow gaps and hidden corners inside the pressure plate housing. After soaking for several minutes, the parts are scrubbed thoroughly with wire brushes and nylon brushes. The cleaning process removes stubborn deposits while protecting the machine surfaces from unnecessary damage. Clean metal surfaces also make it easier to detect small cracks or defects that were hidden beneath dirt and corrosion. Next comes rust removal. Surface rust has covered many of the steel components after years of exposure to moisture and changing weather conditions. A rotary wire will remove loose corrosion from large areas, while smaller wire brushes clean tight spaces around mounting holes and spring seats. For heavily rusted parts, a rust-removing solution is used. The components are soaked until oxidation loosens from the metal surface. Once removed from the solution, each part is rinsed thoroughly and dried immediately to prevent new rust from forming. With the corrosion removed, the original steel begins to shine again. It becomes clear that many of the parts remain structurally sound despite their worn appearance. This is one of the greatest advantages of restoring heavy-duty truck components. They are built from high-quality materials designed for long service life. Attention now turns to the pressure plate face. This is the surface that presses against the clutch disc every time the vehicle is driven. Careful inspection reveals slight grooves, polishing marks, and areas of heat discoloration caused by years of friction. Using precision measuring tools, the flatness of the pressure surface is checked. A straightedge and feeler gauges reveal whether the surface has warped beyond acceptable limits. Fortunately, heavy-duty truck clutch pressure plate, function, and working principle. The clutch pressure plate is one of the most important components of a heavy-duty truck's clutch system. It is responsible for transmitting the engine's power to the transmission by applying a strong and even clamping force to the clutch disc. Without a properly functioning pressure plate, the truck would not be able to move efficiently, change gears smoothly, or handle heavy loads. Heavy-duty trucks operate under extremely demanding conditions. They haul heavy cargo, climb steep hills, travel long distances, and often work continuously for many hours. Because of these demanding conditions, the clutch system must be strong, reliable, and capable of handling high torque. The pressure plate is designed specifically to provide this strength and durability. The pressure plate assembly is mounted directly to the engine flywheel using high-strength mounting bolts. Between the flywheel and the pressure plate sits the clutch disc, which is covered with friction material. When the clutch pedal is released, the pressure plate pushes firmly against the clutch disc, pressing it tightly against the flywheel. This strong clamping force allows the engine's rotating power to pass through the clutch disc and into the transmission input shaft. The main purpose of the pressure plate is to create enough pressure to prevent the clutch disc from slipping while still allowing smooth engagement and disengagement. This balance is critical for both vehicle performance and driver comfort. A typical heavy-duty truck pressure plate consists of several important components. These include the clutch cover, pressure plate face, diaphragm spring or coil springs, release levers, pivot pins, retaining rings, mounting bolts, and various supporting hardware. Every part works together to create a reliable clutch mechanism. The clutch cover forms the outer housing of the assembly. It is securely bolted to the flywheel. Heavy-duty truck clutch pressure plate restoration. In the previous sections, we carefully inspected every component, removed years of grease and rust, resurfaced the pressure plate, and measured each reusable part to ensure it met the manufacturer's specifications. Now it is time for the most important stage of the project, reassembly and precision adjustment. Every cleaned component is arranged neatly on the workbench. The restored pressure plate, clutch cover, diaphragm spring, release levers, pivot pins, retaining clips, and new hardware are all ready for assembly. Before installation begins, each part is given one final inspection to make sure no dirt, dust, or metal particles remain. The pressure plate surface now has a beautiful machined finish. The contact face is perfectly smooth and flat, allowing it to make even contact with the clutch disc. This precision surface is essential for smooth clutch engagement and long service life. The clutch cover is positioned securely on the assembly fixture. Proper alignment is extremely important because even a slight misalignment can affect the balance of the clutch assembly. The mounting holes are matched carefully before any components are installed. Next, the diaphragm spring is fitted into its correct position. This powerful spring provides the clamping force that holds the clutch disc firmly against the flywheel. During installation, special care is taken to avoid bending or damaging the spring fingers. The retaining ring is then installed to secure the diaphragm spring. Each retaining clip is locked firmly into place, ensuring the spring remains centered during operation. The clips are inspected one final time before moving to the next step. Attention now shifts to the release levers. These levers play a critical role in disengaging the clutch whenever the driver presses the clutch pedal. Each lever is installed with. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this heavy-duty truck clutch pressure plate restoration and learned something new about its function, working principle, and restoration process. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel